I will help you to pass your interview. And to achieve that goal, this is what I will cover. So I will give you my top 21 sales interview questions that I strongly recommend you prepare for. Now, I have conducted all of the research for you, and the 21 questions that I am going to work through come up often during all sales job interviews. I will also give you brilliant example answers to all 21 sales interview questions. I will give you some really important tips on how you can stand out during your sales job interview. And finally, I will tell you how you can access further resources, including these slides and the answers, to help you succeed. And also, to make your life easier, I have placed timestamps to each question and answer in the description below the video. So if you want to skip to a particular question, just go in the description below the video and click the blue link that is next to each question and answer. Okay, let's get straight to it. The first sales interview question is going to be, tell me about yourself. Now, in your response, talk about the different skills and qualities you have that are a match for the job description, and make sure you show drive, passion and enthusiasm when answering this first sales interview question. So here's my example answer to help you. Tell me about yourself. Thank you for inviting me to be interviewed for this sales position today. My name is Richard, and over the years I have been keen to develop the right mindset, the right skills and qualities, and gain the experience necessary to become a highly effective salesperson. I have a confident and positive demeanour. I communicate with confidence and resilience, and I am a very good listener. I believe listening is one of the most underrated skills used in sales. I have worked in numerous positions that required me to attract new sales prospects, build long-lasting relationships with customers, and work toward achieving difficult sales targets. I have a strong entrepreneurial spirit. I react well to challenges, and I am the type of person who always allocates time each month to my ongoing professional development. Now, whilst I appreciate you are interviewing lots of talented candidates for this sales position today, I believe the main factor that helps me stand out from the competition is my drive and passion to continually improve. I am very competitive and I want to be the best that I can possibly be. So that's a really good answer to that first sales interview question. Tell me about yourself. Now, you can either pause the video if you want to and take notes as I work through all the questions and answers with you, or if you wait, I will soon tell you where you can download this full set of 21 sales interview questions and top scoring answers in a PDF guide. Question number 2 of our sales interview. Why did you choose a career in sales? Now, this question is assessing your motivations for working in sales. Try to align your personal ambitions and goals with your career choice. Show you have valid and genuine reasons for wanting to work in sales because, as you know, sales is a challenging environment. Here's my model answer. Question 2, why did you choose a career in sales? Here we go. I chose a career in sales for 3 reasons. The first reason is the fact that I am very sociable and I thrive when I am dealing with people. I am a people person at heart and someone that enjoys the challenge of a difficult prospect. The second reason I chose a career in sales is because of the variety that comes with the role. There are many different ways to sell to people, and I enjoy the fact that I get to tweak and change my sales process to help increase conversion rates. I am passionate about self-development, and there is always something new to learn in sales. That is one of the reasons why I spend time reading and learning so I can implement new sales strategies into my daily work. Now, the third reason I chose a career in sales is because of the opportunity to earn a higher than average income. If I do well, I get rewarded. Now, I have ambitious plans outside of work, and the only way I will achieve those goals is if I do well for my employer. That's a really good answer, and I like it in particular because you are not just giving one reason why you chose a career in sales, you are giving 3 reasons. Question number 3, what motivates you? Now, there is nothing wrong with being motivated by commission or money whilst working in sales, but if this is a motivator for you, don't let it be the only thing. Here's a great example answer to help you. What motivates you? I am naturally a goal-orientated person who must always have something to work towards. I get bored easily, which I believe is one of the best traits to have in sales because I am always on the go, I am always looking to improve, and I am always motivated by tough sales targets. As I briefly mentioned in my previous answer, I have goals outside of work and I am highly motivated by these. I am saving up to buy my first house and I have set myself a deadline from which to achieve that goal. Now, I will only achieve the goal if I work hard and I commit myself fully to my work. Finally, I would be being dishonest if I didn't say that I was motivated by financial reward. Now, although money doesn't define me, I am motivated by the choices it can give me. Working in sales gives me and my family an opportunity to lead a life that perhaps we otherwise wouldn't have had. That's a really good answer. You are being honest about what motivates you and drives you to work in sales. Now, don't go anywhere because I still have many more questions and answers to work through with you. But when you're ready, if you want to click that link in the top right-hand corner of the video, it takes you through to my website, passmyinterview.com, and you can download my full set of 21 sales interview questions and top scoring answers, which I am covering throughout this tutorial. But here's the next question that I recommend you prepare for, and that is, what are the most important skills and qualities needed in sales? So this is a common sales interview question that is assessing your knowledge of the job description. Now, I have done the hard work for you, and the 8 skills and qualities that follow in my example answer appear across all sales job descriptions. So here's another great answer to assist you in your preparation. What are the most important skills and qualities needed in sales? There are 8 essential skills and qualities needed to be consistently effective in sales. Confidence and resilience are the first 2. You must show confidence in the products and services you are selling, confidence in your style of communication without being arrogant, and resilience when things are getting tough. If you are experiencing a difficult day, you have to overcome it by analysing what is going on and making changes to your sales approach. You need drive and a passion for sales. If you are not self-motivated and you are not naturally aligned to a career in sales, it will be very difficult to meet your targets. Now, being a people person is another important quality needed to work in sales. Each prospect is different in terms of their needs, their objections, and their motivators. A competent salesperson will be able to quickly establish what each of these things is and communicate in a way that helps close the sale quickly. Effective communication has to be one of the most important skills and qualities needed to work in sales. Communication is not just about how you speak, it's about how you listen and how you ask the right questions. Other essential skills and qualities needed in sales include taking responsibility for your professional development, because in sales you cannot afford to sit still. There is always something new to learn. Finally, you need in-depth knowledge of your products and services. Now, if you don't know the ins and outs of your products, you won't be able to answer any questions the customer has, and you will lose plenty of sales as a result. So that's a really good answer that shows you fully understand the different skills and qualities needed to work in sales. Question 5. How did you land your most successful sale? Make sure you give a specific sales example where you prepared well for the sale, you researched the prospect, and you considered the possible objections. So here's my example answer to help you. How did you land your most successful sale? My most successful sale was when I first started working in sales. It was my most successful sale because of my inexperience at the time and the fact that I learned so much from the experience. I was trying to sell a large client a servicing contract that was worth thousands to my employer over a 5-year period. Now, despite being new to sales, I was keen to impress. Before speaking to the client, I prepared myself well. I researched their company. I established how the servicing package could bring a financial benefit to their business, and I considered the possible objections the client would use. I was not pushy in my sales approach, and I asked the client numerous questions about how I could help them to improve operational efficiency. Now, in all, it took me 2 challenging phone calls and 1 face-to-face visit to achieve the sale. Now, I learned a tremendous amount from that experience, especially in respect of asking the right questions, not being too pushy, and making sure the value of the product I was selling far outweighed the cost to purchase. That's a brilliant answer. It's a specific situation that someone's been in where they have landed a successful sale despite having little experience. Question number 6. Sales are down. What would you do? So at some stage during your career, sales will be down. And it is during times like these that you must overcome and adapt. In your answer, demonstrate your resilience and adaptability to get sales moving again. So here's my example answer to help you. Question 6. Sales are down. What would you do? Here we go. I would start off by analysing the reason for the drop in sales, because getting to the root cause of the problem is essential. Is it because we are not giving our customers what they need? Is my sales approach no longer effective, or is there a seasonal reason for a drop in sales? Now, once I had established the cause, I would use an innovative approach to increase them again. For example, this exact situation happened in my last sales position. I had been surpassing sales targets for a 15-month period when all of a sudden they dropped off. After analysing the market, it was because a new company had entered the market with a much cheaper product and they were using excellent marketing strategies to attract new customers. We had been using telesales for a long time, whereas the new company was using a combination of pay-per-click advertising on Google and social media adverts. Now, I calculated they must have been making a loss due to the cost of the adverts and their low product price point. However, I asked my sales manager for permission to trial some adverts online whilst keeping our price higher than theirs. Now, this strategy worked really well, and sales and leads soon started to increase again. And by establishing the exact cause for the drop in sales, I was able to take advantage of a new marketing method that helped the company increase sales moving forward across the business. It's a really good example answer that shows you can use your initiative when sales are down. Let's move on to the next question. What advice would you give to someone new to sales? Now, when answering this sales interview question, showcase your experience and knowledge and demonstrate that you are willing to help others within a sales team. So here's my example answer to help you. What advice would you give to someone new to sales? I would tell them to always be open to learning. They should never be in a position where they think they know it all. There is always something new to learn in sales, and they must take responsibility for their own development. I would say that the customer's needs are vital in converting sales. Now, the only way they will become successful in sales is by asking customers the right questions and being prepared to do lots of listening. Finally, I would tell them to find a sales process that works for them. This may take a little bit of time in the early days to find out what works, but once they establish a sales process they are comfortable with and confident in, it will be easier for them to reach their sales targets. It's a really good example answer that shows you have lots of experience and wisdom when working in sales. Question number 8. What's the biggest mistake you've made in sales? Number 1, give an example of when you made a mistake in sales. Be honest about the mistake. Number 2, tell the interviewer what you learned from the experience to improve for next time. So here's my example top scoring answer to help you. Question 8, what's the biggest mistake you've made in sales? The biggest mistake I made in sales was when I didn't prepare enough for a sales call. I assumed the prospect I was going to be speaking to was not the person who would be making the decision to buy, and this backfired. He was very confident, and he said he wanted to do a deal there and then, but I wasn't prepared. He asked me several questions about the service we offered, and I did not answer them convincingly enough. This was a mistake that I learned a huge amount from. Firstly, you should never assume anything in sales, especially with regard to who you are speaking to. Secondly, I learned the importance of conducting background research about the individual or the company you are going to be speaking to, and I never made the same mistake again. So that shows that you are honest, because we all make mistakes, but you are willing to learn from the process. Question 9. When did you know a career in sales was for you? Now, if you can demonstrate you have been attracted to sales for a long time, this will undoubtedly work in your favour. Working in sales can be tough, as you know, so you need resilience to be able to overcome the challenges. Here's my example answer to help you. Question 9. When did you know a career in sales was for you? When I was young, I started selling household items on eBay that my mother and father didn't need anymore. Now, they agreed to give me a 50% share on anything I sold. I had a natural ability to write sales copy, and I would list the benefits of the product I was selling with a view to overcoming any barriers my potential bidders might have. This was a great experience because as time went on, I became a very proficient seller on eBay. It was then that I knew I wanted to work in sales, and I believe I've gone from strength to strength ever since. That shows that you have a passion for sales early on, and also an ability to write good sales copy and overcome objections. Question 10. You can ask a new prospect 3 questions. What questions would you ask and why? Now, qualifying the prospects or asking them questions is an important part of the sales process. The following 3 questions are applicable for all sales roles, so feel free to use them in your answer. Let's take a look at my sample response. Question 10. You can ask a new prospect 3 questions. What questions would you ask and why? I would ask them, what are their biggest challenges right now, and what do they need to overcome them? What results do they want to achieve? And what are the criteria for making a decision, and who will make it? Now, the first question allows me to ascertain a solution to their problem, which enables me to sell the benefits of our product or service. The second question allows us both to focus our thoughts on their desired results. If you can prove to them that the results are achievable with our product or service, it makes it easier for them to justify the spend. Finally, I need to understand who is going to be making the decision to buy and what the potential barriers might be. So those 3 questions are ones you should ask when speaking to a new prospect. Question 11 of our sales interview questions and answers. Describe yourself in 3 words. Now, this is your opportunity to demonstrate your hunger and passion for working in sales. The following 3 words that I have chosen are perfect for all sales job interviews. Here's my example answer to help you. Question 11, describe yourself in 3 words. Here we go. Hungry, persistent, and evolving are the 3 words I would use to describe myself. I am hungry because I am competitive and I want to be the best version of myself possible. I want to beat my sales targets, and I'm hungry to continue learning. I would describe myself as persistent because I never give in, and I react well to negative or challenging situations. I have a strong mindset, which I believe is essential in sales. Finally, I would describe myself as evolving. I believe you must be open to continual improvement in sales because the sales process and the way people buy are constantly changing. Those 3 words are perfect for any sales job interview. When answering the question, describe yourself in 3 words. Question 12. How would you build rapport with a prospect? Now, in your answer to this common sales interview question, talk about the questions you will ask a prospect and how you will listen throughout the process of building rapport. Here's my great example answer to help you. How would you build rapport with a prospect? I would build rapport by asking relevant questions, listening to the prospect, and by establishing a common connection that was outside of sales talk. Prospects and customers are intelligent. They know when they are being sold to. Therefore, it is important to ask the right questions and to demonstrate you are able to make a difference to their life, their situation, or their business through your products and services. Listening is a skill that is forgotten amongst many sales professionals. In sales, we like to do the talking, but in my experience, listening is just as powerful. Whilst a prospect is talking, I will listen and look for clues that will enable me to close a sale quickly. Establishing a common connection is a great way to build trust quickly with a prospect or customer, and it enables the lines of communication to really open up. That's a great model answer to help you pass your interview. Question 13, and by the way, I hope you are enjoying these answers. Please don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. That really motivates me to create more for you. Thank you. How much time would you spend cultivating customer relationships versus hunting for new prospects, and why? Now, a smart salesperson understands that it is essential they spend time cultivating customer relations because this helps to increase sales and profits long term. Here's my example answer to help you. Question 13. How much time would you spend cultivating customer relationships versus hunting for new prospects, and why? I would divide my time half and half. Building relationships with customers is a great way to increase the longevity of sales. This means you don't have to then spend any more money than is necessary on advertising for new customers. Once you have a customer, you should try and keep them for as long as possible, and I would dedicate half my time cultivating and nurturing relationships. Now, I learned this lesson many years ago when I bought my first car. The salesman kept in touch with me every now and then after I had bought the car. He would send a quick email to check if everything was satisfactory with the car, even months after I had bought it. This was clever because when I wanted to renew my car again in the future, I immediately contacted him. Question 14. If we hire you for this sales position, what will you do in the first month of starting? Now, before you attend your sales interview, have a plan in place of what you are going to do within the first 30 days of starting work, because this is a great way to stand out from the competition. Here's my example answer to help you. Question 14. If we hire you for this sales position, what will you do in the first month of starting? I will do 3 things within the first month. Number 1, I will get a clear brief from my sales manager on what it is he or she wants me to focus on in the role and the targets I need to achieve. Number 2, I will assess the market, the methods I can use to attract new prospects, and the sales process I will use to convert as many sales as possible. Finally, number 3, I will set to work selling and showing you what I am capable of. I feel in the first month of starting work, it is important I hit the ground running, and I will be placing myself under pressure to get sales coming into the business as soon as possible to start repaying the trust you will have shown by hiring me. So another really good answer. You have a plan in place of what you're going to do, and those 3 things are perfect within the first 30 days of starting in any sales role. Question 15 of our 21 sales interview questions and answers is, tell me about a time when you turned a prospect away. Now, if a prospect is wasting your time, or if you feel there is no real chance of you converting the sale, then you must politely walk away, because wasting time on unrealistic sales opportunities is not conducive to good business. Here's my example answer. Tell me about a time when you turned a prospect away. Now, over the years, I have learned when to walk away from a prospect if a sale is taking up too much of my time, or if I am suspicious about the intentions of the prospect, I will politely walk away. One example comes to mind recently where a prospect was taking a long time making a decision. I had spent plenty of time talking to him, outlining the benefits of our service, and I had given him the maximum discount that I was comfortable with. The sale was dragging on, and it reached the point where I decided to politely decline answering any further questions. He was asking for a bigger discount and explaining that other companies were willing to meet his requests. I politely declined and I moved on. So that shows you have the confidence in sales to walk away when the time is right. Question 16. Which is worse and why? Not reaching your monthly sales targets or unhappy customers? Now, the majority of people will choose not reaching sales targets as the one that is worse, but that's not the right answer. Here's my example response to help you. Question 16. Which is worse and why? Not reaching your monthly sales targets or unhappy customers? Here we go. I think they are both as bad as each other. However, if I had to choose one, it would be unhappy customers. Unhappy customers lead to negative reviews and a lack of repeat business, which can impact the business significantly from a financial standpoint. Now, whilst not meeting my targets for a month is bad and embarrassing, it is an opportunity for me to learn from the experience and to assess what has gone wrong so that I make sure it doesn't happen again. That's how I would respond to that question, because it shows that you are commercially aware. Question 17. Tell me about a time when a prospect didn't buy from you. Why didn't they buy? And what did you learn from the experience? Now, continuous improvement and taking on board feedback are 2 essential traits of working in sales. In your answer, demonstrate you are willing to analyze your performance to make improvements. Here's my example response to help you. Question 17. Tell me about a time when a prospect didn't buy from you. Why didn't they buy and what did you learn from the experience? Last year, a prospect I was speaking to decided to go with a competitor of ours. I had spent several weeks trying to win their business and I was keen to hear the reasons for their decision. Now, they told me the other company had more online reviews than our company and they were able to lower their price more. Now, although I wasn't comfortable lowering the price any further than offered, I was interested to hear about the reviews. I spoke to my sales manager to discuss with her the possibility of implementing a better customer review process for the business, as I felt this would help increase conversions. Our products were brilliant, and I felt we were not celebrating this fact by asking customers to leave online reviews. After some research, we decided to set up a Trustpilot review account and we started to collect reviews after customers had purchased our products and services. That's a great example answer that shows that you're willing to learn from every experience. Question 18. What was the last podcast you listened to or book that you read? Now, my advice is to say you are reading a sales book or listening to a motivational podcast, because this demonstrates you are always seeking to improve and develop, which is important in sales because there is always something new to learn. Here's my example answer to help you. What was the last podcast you listened to or book that you read? Here we go. I've been reading Fanatical Prospecting by Jeb Blount, which is giving me some new ideas for opening sales conversations with prospects. It's teaching me a lot about the mindset for selling, and I'm trying a few things from it that I'm getting some traction with. I'm also listening to Tony Robbins' podcast, and I'm currently on episode 11, which is the psychology of success. I am a big fan of Tony's work and I find it keeps me positive and focused on my goals. That's how I would answer that particular question. And by the way, if you want to check out that book, I've placed a link in the description below the video for you. It's a really, really good book. Question 19, what are the different stages of the sales process? Now, surprisingly, lots of people who work in sales do not know the different stages of the sales process. Now, this is your opportunity to show you fully understand the different stages you can follow when working towards your sales targets. So here's my example answer to help you. What are the different stages of the sales process? There are 7 stages of the sales process I will use in my work. Prospecting is the act of sourcing new leads, and I found LinkedIn to be a great place to attract leads in my previous role. The second stage is to establish contact. Sometimes I will reach out directly to prospects if I feel they are a good fit for the service or product we are selling. Alternatively, I will be proactive and post online to encourage people to contact me. Again, I have used LinkedIn to great effect with this method. The third stage is qualifying the prospect. I achieve this by asking relevant questions that I discussed in a previous answer, including the challenges they are facing in their business and who makes the buying decisions. I will then spend time nurturing the prospect and establishing a common connection. This is where I will build the right level of trust before presenting my offer, overcoming their objections and closing the sale. So that shows that you fully understand from a technical standpoint the different stages of the sales process. Question 20. What's your least favorite part of the sales process? Now, this is a tough sales interview question to answer, but be honest about the part you find the most challenging. Here's how I would answer this question. Question 20. What's your least favorite part of the sales process? There isn't anything I dislike about sales. However, if I had to choose one area, it would be searching for new prospects and leads. I say this because it's the only part of the sales process where I am not directly interacting with prospects. As I mentioned before, I am a people person and I am the happiest in my work when communicating. Now, having said that, searching for prospects is a very important part of the sales process and I will always give 100% effort in this area. I like that because it does you no harm, because you're saying that you want to be speaking with people, which, as you know, is a really important part of the sales process. Question 21. That's the end of your sales interview. Do you have any questions for us? Now, at the end of your sales interview, you will have the opportunity to ask some questions of your own. Make sure you ask 3 smart questions that are guaranteed to impress the hiring manager. Now, I am going to give you 3 questions in a second, but before I do, make sure after we finish this tutorial in a second that you check out my live sales job interview. I actually go through a mock interview in live format, and you can access that by clicking the link at the top of the video. It's definitely worth a watch because I show you in real format how to pass any sales interview. But here's those 3 questions that you can ask at the end of your sales interview. Actually, I'm going to give you 4, and you can choose which 3 you want to. Thank you. I have some questions I would like to ask. Number 1, what challenges is your business facing right now, and how can I help you to overcome them in this sales role? I'll repeat that. What challenges is your business facing right now, and how can I help you to overcome them in this sales role? Question 2, who sets the sales targets for me to reach each month? Number 3, how does your business currently attract new prospects and leads? And number 4, how often does the business launch new products or services? Those are smart questions. You are talking about their business and your sales targets, so it shows that you want to make a big difference in the role. Now, as I said